parks as well. We have about 150 pieces of equipment. As the mayor has said, that we've been working since Tuesday, brining to try to pre-prepare because you can't always get to the end of the route. So we tried as best we could to make sure that there was some base so that we could help to reduce the amount of slippiness on the roads as well. I want to say that the first thing, like when we have flooding conditions, we say don't flood and if it floods, turn around, don't drown. For snow, I would say that slow down. We saw a number of people today that were still driving like it was the middle of the summer, and that will only affect problems and accidents. So we just appreciate that people just slow down. You know, our trucks are not little, so we need you to make sure that you give our vehicles and our employees enough space so they can do the job to improve the road conditions as soon as we can. We have 111 priority routes, and those are the routes that are kind of the spokes of the wheel. That's how people get around. Right now, if you look at the traffic, a lot of people are trying to get their kids home, so there's a lot of people out there. So all we would like is just people to take your time and to go forward. We're going to be at this for the next day or so. With it being so cold that whatever precipitation, if it doesn't dry off, it's going to freeze. And so we will be placing not just rock salt that a lot of you are aware of, we also put, and Brian will tell me if I'm wrong, I think it's calcium chloride. Calcium chloride on every load, which is a chemical that allows the whatever precipitation is down there to get slushy and not freeze. So we're trying as best we can to use our technology, our equipment, and our people. And I just want to say that we appreciate the support that we've gotten from Mayor Fischer in the administration, and that we will do as a team the best that we can do. But we need your help, just like we need your help when we have flooding. We need your help during the snow. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Burns. Appreciate you and the team. Please give them our best. Everybody have a little empathy and grace for them. They'll be out at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning when most people are at home, snuggled under their covers, hopefully, and they're out there keeping the road safe. So thanks to the team. Also want to say thank you to our team because we can follow our progress virtually if you want to see the status of various roads and where they're at in terms of being plowed. So you can use our snow route map at louisvilleky.gov to get a real-time feel for what's going on with your roads. I want to give another shout out to our hardworking public servants. They are on this 24/7, ready to mobilize to winter weather response. They get behind the wheel of these vehicles and take on the important task of keeping our roads clear. So to all the members of our snow team, I want to say again, thank you. We kicked off the season probably some 6 weeks ago. We said that in advance, but I just want to say it each and every day, whether it's removing snow or all the good work that you do with Public Works here for our city. I also want to thank our first responders and others that are taking on dangerous work during severe weather so the rest of us can stay safe. We're all grateful. Please stay safe. Again, to our citizens, give them leeway when you see them moving in and about along our roads. So the bottom line for all of us during this is to stay safe, particularly in bad or dangerous weather and with this really cold weather that we've got coming upon us. Safest place, generally, home. Stay home if you can. That's an idea that we're all pretty used to at this point, especially with COVID-19, and we know the Omicron variant is the most infectious of all, so we help all kinds of things by staying home. And it's especially true when the roads are slick and icy like they are right now. That said, we know that some of you all are essential workers. So if you're an essential worker or absolutely have to travel, there are keys to staying safe when you are traveling and keys to staying safe at home as well. So to remind us about those, I'm going to turn things over to our Director of Metro Emergency Services, Jody Myman. Jody has served our city extraordinarily well for decades. I want to commend him again for the work that he led during the rescue and recovery efforts at the candle factory in Mayfield during the tornado. For our city, we should be proud. We sent a lot of our employees down there to help with the efforts after the tornado, and Jody was at the tip of the spear there. So Director Myman, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, you want to pay attention to what to where you're located at and what the hazards are going to be around where you are. And several people already have talked about the roads and how bad they are. And if you don't need to be on the roads, don't. Just this morning, just to give you an example, we've had 83 non-emergency accidents just between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12:15 a.m. And what to compare that to is yesterday at the same time period, there were 3. So we've got a lot of activity on the roads. We've got a lot of people that are trying to get home. Please be careful. Please stay safe. Like I said, if you don't have to be on the road, please don't. If you've got to call 911, we are having an overabundance of 911 calls this morning as well. Make sure that when you call, if you get that message, you're not being put on hold, you're being put into a queue. That queue, you will get answered as the calls are received. If you hang up and call back, that means that's going to tie up 2 call takers eventually, and that somebody's going to call you back, and then your next call is going to get answered as well. So please hang on the line. Your call will be answered in the order that it's taken. Like they said, make sure that you're slowing down. Don't crowd the snow plows that our Metro Public Works team is out there trying to make those roads safe. Prepare for power outages. We don't expect any, but if there is, make sure you call LG&E. I think there's a slide up here in a little bit that you can call LG&E directly instead of calling 911 if you have a power outage or if you have a line down. Now's a good time to take a look at your home. If you lose power, never use generators inside your garage, inside your house. Never use generators around a window, around any kind of intake where it can be sucked into your house. Carbon monoxide is one of the leadest causes of death during winter storms. Listen to emergency information as it's given. As always, go to louisvilleky.gov and sign up for Lens Alert to get the most accurate, up-to-date messages. If you have to go outside, make sure that you know the signs and symptoms of hypothermia and be able to address those accordingly. Take care of your pets, take care of your neighbors, especially if they're elderly or have any kind of medical problems. Only call 911 if there's a true emergency. If you have to use gas fire or any kind of fireplace or any type of heating, space heaters, anything like that, make sure that you're using those in the proper locations and very properly inside the house. And this is a good time also with the cold coming in to take a look at your pipes. Like John said, he's going to drip his pipes inside his house, but take a look at your external pipes as well. Turn those off. It's a good time to refamiliarize yourself with where your water shutoffs are in your house. As these things, as the weather gets warmer and the pipes thaw out, you could have some problems there, and you're going to need to know where to turn that water off. And I believe we've got rain coming in Sunday as well. So, as this snow melts and we have rain come in, there can be a lot of standing water out there. So be prepared for that over the weekend as well.
Thank you, Director Myman. John, did you want to talk a little bit more about the weekend?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. We're gonna have a rain event on late Saturday into Sunday. So if you have 3 inches of snow and you get a bunch of rain, it's gonna cause problems and flooding, especially south of here and south and east of here. So, sometimes they can really back up. Director Burns knows how they actually will back up because there's so much snow that it's iced up and then you get rain on top of that. So anything you do to clear your house once this is done, clear your sidewalks, clear your whatever before we get the rain, after the freeze. It's kind of a mess this weekend. So 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of rain, especially south and east of Louisville. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So on that too, if you've got any sewer grates around your house or business, if you see them stopped up, MSD will be out and about, but it'd be helpful for you if you could also clear those areas. Remember too, if you have a sidewalk in front of your home or a business, it is your responsibility to clean the sidewalk. So please do that and help everybody out if you can. Okay, to help kids safe, JCPS dismissed high school and middle school students early at 11 a.m. and elementary school students were released about 20 minutes ago at 12:30 p.m. I don't think too many people are going to think about going to the zoo right now, maybe some fellow polar bears, but our Louisville Zoo will be closing early today in the interest of safety, so they're closed as of now. As always, when winter weather turns severe or dangerous, we've got to think about our people that are homeless. So we're in conversation with the Coalition for Homeless and other partners, reviewing shelter operations and capacity and supplies, working whatever we can do to help our most vulnerable folks get through harsh winter weather. A reminder that Operation White Flag goes into effect when the temperature or wind chill is below 35 degrees. And there is a big difference between 35 degrees and the 0 degrees it's going to be tomorrow. And we know some of the folks that are staying outside do not want to go into shelters. But for folks that are in and around and helping with our homeless community, anything you can do to encourage them to go inside, it could be a life-saving situation here when the weather is getting as cold as it's going to be going from today on in through the weekend. All people needing shelter can stay at the participating shelters while these white flag conditions persist. And the participating Operation White Flag shelters include Wayside Christian Mission at 432 East Jefferson Street, and then St. Vincent de Paul, which is for men only, at 1034 South Jackson Street, and then the Salvation Army's day shelter is open at 911 South Brook Street. To locate the nearest shelter and to reserve a bed, residents also can call the single point of entry line at 502-637-2237. And remember, it's been a while since it's been really cold, so we've talked about keeping your pipes from freezing. Also remember pets. Louisville Metro Animal Services is reminding residents to contact animal control to report pets left outside without proper shelter. They are not geared for 0 degree weather either. So if you're unsure whether to place a service request, we encourage you to call and discuss your options with a Metro Animal Services officer at 502-473-PETS, 473-PETS. All right, and then also your neighbors, check on your neighbor. If you're also taking care of some elderly people or people with disabilities in the community on a regular basis, please check in with them and just make sure they're safe and sound and everything is okay. And if not, please help them out or let us know how we can do that. All right, with that, we're happy to take questions. See, we have one question about staffing, is that right?
We do. Ben Tobin with the Courier Journal, Mayor asks, how many public works workers are currently absent due to COVID?
Okay, Ben, the authorized force for Public Works and all the snow team people is about 450 people, and 62 of them are out either positive or COVID or quarantining. We're expecting them to be rolling back, though, after they get off their quarantine, so they will be adding to the snow team effort. So about 14% of our eligible folks.
Okay, our next question comes from Rachel Droz with WHAS. Rachel asks, are there resources for the Metro's houseless population? And Mayor, you mentioned that in your remarks, but if you could go back and reiterate that, we'll put the slide up.
Yeah, again, with the severe cold we have, any help we can get from the community is important, but there are places where they can stay. Homeless folks can stay. Wayside Christian Mission, 432 East Jefferson Street, St. Vincent de Paul for men only, 1034 South Jackson Street, and the Salvation Army Center at 911 South Brook Street is the day shelter. We're under white flag conditions. That means anybody can come in, so please do that. If you need to reserve a bed at a shelter, residents can call the single point of entry line at 502-637-2237.
Okay, and our final question in the chat is from Rachel Droz with WHAS. She says, for elderly and disabled, are there resources they can reach out to if they are unable to clear sidewalks in front of their homes?
There's not a formal government response on something like that. I would just encourage them to contact the folks that they're normally are checking in on them. If you're in Louisville, snow conditions are not going to be that severe, at least knock on wood, they're not going to be. So the sidewalk should be cleared pretty easily. If you're south of here, as John mentioned, it could be a much more significant problem. Obviously, when we get into our rural areas, sidewalks aren't that big of an issue, but I would just say use your contacts, use your church or house of worship, and I'm sure you can find somebody there. If it's a severe problem, give us a call at 311 and we'll see how we can help.
Okay, there are no other questions in the chat.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today. Everybody, remember the COVID precautions. So the less movement about you can do, the better, because the virus doesn't move. It only moves with people. And that's another good reason to stay inside here during this cold winter weather that we have. And then a reminder, on Monday, when most of the snow should be gone and melted away, we'll be opening up a new mass testing center at Churchill Downs for people that need to get tested. So stay safe and stay warm. Thanks, everybody.